So welcome everybody. This is going to be a tutorial on the emergency procedure section in Online WHS and how it works. And it's probably good timing for this tutorial because there's just been an upgrade put in there in the last 2 days that we've been sending out an email shortly. So you'll be able to, you might have already seen it, and I'll explain what that is actually for that little upgrade. But your emergency procedure section is on your quick links page. We'll just go over the whole register, makes it nice and easy. So you've got the name of the register. You can publish this register in all the different ways and so forth. You've got your back button, will take you back to the quick links procedure section. You've got add a procedure where you can actually add just here, and then obviously all your procedures are listed here. So let's just hit this add procedure and let's build a procedure for a certain site. So we'll select the site and we'll select it as warehouse. So in this section here, you can actually add your own type of, kind of whatever it may be. We'll just call it XXXXX, and we can go add. So you can actually select that, and then this section here, the policy statement, is really just a nice little section for you. You'll see at the end that it builds a really good form. So you would actually maybe go to your emergency procedure policy section, maybe copy a spiel out of that and place it inside here. So if you are going to copy and paste from a current policy, just hit this paste from Word and select Control V to paste that in, and clean up box and then OK. What that'll do, it'll actually insert that document just here, and and then up there you'll have a nice clean kind of thing. But let's just put XXXX in here and pretend we're actually built a procedure. And once you've done that, let's select next. So what this does, it actually takes you that you can actually build the procedure for that item. So the emergency steps on what to do. So it might be, set the alarm, potential hazard. You can actually relate that it might be fire or whatever it may be, and you can relate the risk using the risk matrix. If you don't like that matrix, again, if you actually upload your matrix in the user admin dashboard, it'll actually be seen there, and you can actually develop a control measure to reduce the likelihood of that occurring again. And you can set your residual risk, which will be coming into the hazard register in the near future with this process as well. You can have a review date, and it's a review date of this procedure item. So you can actually set it, whether it may be a year's time or whatever it may be. You might set it that it's reviewed in a month's time, so you can actually see how your emergency procedure that you've created is going. And then, if it is going okay, what you can actually do is then maybe review it each year. Responsibility, so the person responsible to review this procedure is myself. So you just just type in your name there, and it'll bring your name up, and you can hit the plus sign to take over the responsibility box. I won't receive an email alert unless I set up an email alert in the alert section, but this will automatically go into my to-do list. So I go on my to-do list, and I don't have to think about it. I just have to hit the pad icon, and it'll immediately take me to this section here. So you can select save. It'll actually build that procedure step. That's a little bit slow here at the moment, but we have had problems with there was an upgrade put in the system a couple of weeks ago that was causing the system to be a bit slow. The team are rectifying that. Let's go add procedure, so you can actually build as many steps in this procedure as you wish. While that's thinking down there, we'll just come to this alerting section. So every emergency procedure will need an alerting kind of process. If it's fire, obviously you're going to need a fire alarm, smoke detectors and so forth. So let's just add this other procedure here. They told me they'd fix this, but we'll keep on going. There we go. we'll do the residual risk one more time, and the review date, person responsible, and we'll select save. So that's actually, you can actually build those steps. Some of our clients, well, one of our clients, she did an amazing job building this whole section there, and you're looking at, she had around about 10 steps in all the different emergency procedures relating to transport. So with this alerting system, it's a good idea. Like, you're looking at, it's a great way for you to actually, understand what kind of things that you might be lacking in emergency procedures. So you can choose a person responsible, that's to look after that section. So, and I can actually select these items now, whatever it may be, and next. So this actually takes me to the emergency procedure section, and this is actually picking up the emergency equipment. So make sure you put your emergency equipment in first, and all your emergency equipment's needed, especially for that scenario. So if it happens to be, say for an example, the scenario might be a chemical spill, you can actually make sure that you actually go to emergency equipment section and enter spill kit before you build this procedure and emergency procedure. But let's just select, say for an example, a couple of these. One thing, you have a drill date, so you should be actually highlighting records of that you've actually practiced this emergency procedure and inducted people into that. This is what this is for. And then you can actually have a review date for continual improvement. Let's just select that to next year. Select on the number, and again, a person responsible. It will put it in that person's to-do list. It won't send an email alert yet unless you actually set up an email alert in the user admin dashboard or the management icon. Let's select save. So we've actually just built our procedure. So if I select the view icon now, you'll see that it's actually built that into a nice, neat process. You've got your emergency procedure there. If I hit generate PDF, that's actually now turned that into a printable document with your logo up the top that you can actually display around your facility. So you can play around with it and so forth to make it look really good. But one thing you might notice in this section here is responsibilities. So the responsibility section, if I actually just go to the responsibility register, so you've got fire wardens and all these different kind of responsibilities. But probably each area of, or each site, if you're multi-sites, each site definitely, but you might, say for an example, have it for your warehouse and you might have it for your office, depending on where it is. So let's just add a responsibility, and we're gonna have a fire warden, and he's going to be in that warehouse, because at the moment there was nothing related to that warehouse. So if we select the warehouse, we're going to review date, and this is the review date to just make sure that that actual person is, you review who's the person who's going to be the fire warden. So I'll make it that I'm going to review this process. And the person is actually going to, be the person who's going to be our fire warden. We'll go Brad Thomas. There we go. So you can actually make more than one person responsible for that responsibility, and select save. So that's actually put that into this register here. So now if I actually go back to my emergency procedure, and it comes around thinking it was working perfectly today. So and let's select on that emergency procedure again, and actually see that the people in the responsibility section have now been inserted into this emergency procedure. So let's select on that, and let me select the view icon there again. Sorry about this. I'll be speaking to the team straight after this, because this was lightning fast before. So and now that is ridiculously slow. So so if I actually scroll down here, you'll see that both those people's names are now inserted into that emergency procedure. So when you actually develop, your emergency procedures, you're looking at your emergency procedure register is linked to this register and to this register. So make sure you complete these first before you build your emergency procedure and build things. Now, just to highlight a couple of little changes that's been in this section now. So I'll just highlight this one first thing, is that you've done your evacuation drills and so forth. It's a good idea. You'll see that in your form section we have preloaded a training or a register of training Word document. So you could actually fill that out, get everyone to sign it, and actually upload it in here if you wanted to. And that's going to keep a record of your evacuation drills. You could here upload a site map of your site and so forth, and the evacuation points. And you'll see in the coming upgrade, hopefully mid-year, that I'm going to make that plan insert into the document so you can print out the entire document with your map. I think it'd be pretty good. So but I will just go to this change to the emergency equipment register, because it's a good little change, especially for companies who have trucks, who have cars or couriers or whatever it may be, or vehicles or machines that would need a first aid kit and maybe a fire extinguisher. So when you actually add the equipment now, you'll see that these two fields were not in the system previously. So you can add a new bit of equipment. So let's just go, say for an example, fire extinguisher, and you could relate it to an activity if you wanted to, but we'll just relate it to general. But here you can actually relate it to the actual vehicle. So yes, that fire extinguisher is in vehicle 2. The previous maintenance date was last year, and the next maintenance date this year. And the person responsible, again, it won't email alert me. It'll actually put it in my to-do list. If I want to send email alerts, we'll come up here. We'll go there in a sec, and I can select save. So just like normal, there you go. I'm not doing the right thing. If you've done something wrong, the system will tell you what you need to do. So there you go. I need to actually fix up that site. That item should have held. I'll tell the team to fix that up. So, and I can actually go save. So what that's done now is actually related that fire extinguisher in the warehouse to the company vehicle of number 2. So it's a great way to track that. So and all those different things and so forth. So it's so yeah, that little change there, especially for companies who are transport companies and companies who have vehicles that need to have a fire extinguisher and first aid kit here, have actually put in there because it's part of the requirements. Let's go to that user admin dashboard and the alert section here. And if I actually just go, say for an example, emergency procedures, as I said, setting up an email alert. If you want an email alert, you would set it up by here. The easiest way is to actually come up here, select whatever it may be, and then select your site, and then select the person responsible and the time frame of 1, because it'll be the next day after it expires. And that's saved, and now that'll actually send me an email alert on the designated dates. So that is the emergency procedure section and so forth. There is going to be some little upgrades coming into the system in the near future for that section there. You'll see that it'll be started to, it has been related to the responsibility register and the emergency equipment register for some period of time, but it'll actually be related to some of the other registers, like we've just done with the machines and so forth. One thing you'll be able to do in this responsibility box coming soon is you'll be able to relate that certain responsibility instead of just to a site. Well, obviously, if you've got, say for an example, like this other company did, 10 different emergency procedures for each site, you're not going to have the same emergency personnel for every single emergency procedure. So you'll actually see coming into this responsibility section that you will actually be you'll be able to relate it to an emergency procedure that you've created. So if I actually select this here and go add responsibility, you'll see that underneath this site section there will be, you select the site, say warehouse, the next one will be, you're going to select the site of emergency procedure of XXX, the one that we actually created. So you'll see that coming in the near future. Actually, it'll come up pretty quick. Put slotting that in there in the next week or so. So that is the emergency procedure section. So I hope you've understood that. It helps you develop some really good emergency procedures, something that you'll all need to do. And depending on what business you are, depending on what emergency procedures you will need to create. If you're using chemicals, well, you'll need to have a chemical procedure, emergency procedure, and your spill kits and so forth. And you'll, depending on your buildings and so forth, obviously for fire. And if you're, say for example, a race club, I did notice one of the race clubs is on the course here, and you're exposed outside. If you're actually, Brad, like your guys are working outside in the doing their work, so you might have an emergency procedure relating to storm. So what to do if an electrical storm comes up, instead of actually having your workers work outside an electrical storm, you actually make sure that they jump in their car or whatever it may be. Probably be the safest place. Regarding to the race courses, if you follow those manuals that I've created and watch some of those videos, that'll actually help you as well. So thank you everybody for turning up. These tutorials usually last anything between 10 and 20 minutes, depending on what the feature is. This section there, you'll see also will be coming into this section. You've probably noticed that this QR codes have gone throughout the system. The QR codes will be coming into an emergency procedure section as well. So you'll be able to literally put the QR code, print out the QR code, and stick it on a wall or wherever it may be, and people can actually scan that emergency procedure, especially if it's relating to chemicals and so forth. So thank you, and any questions, please don't hesitate to email me, and I'll make sure I get that team to have a look at that speed of that system, so as it was supposed to be fixed. All right, thank you.